YouTube Nation, Babin TV, aka Me TV, aka Dream Team. Dream Team, here we go again. You got to be kidding me, all right? And this is not even the Eagles, all right? This is ESPN's doing. Eagles didn't even say anything. All right, but I'll talk about that in a minute because I know you guys see the sleeve. I will talk about this at the end of the show for the review, all right? But before I get started on the Eagles, I got to talk about the Philadelphia Union. For those who don't know, I'm so tired of them at this point. You've got to be kidding me. FCers, they traded, for those who don't know, Mwanga yesterday. That's right, they traded him. Now, I don't understand because I told you before they was trying to pull Flyers. You have traded all of our firepower for nothing. For nothing. You realize, look, you traded Ruiz. You traded Latu. You traded Caliph, right? I'm sorry, Caliph. You traded Caliph, right? And now you trade Mwanga, who's the guy who was supposed to be built around the entire team. Now you're trading him. I don't understand who's making these decisions. All right, whoever it is, they need to be fired. Now look where you're at. It's bad enough you don't really win that many games, and yet you still want people to be on, on the ship. I'm still there, but you have to be kidding me. You've got to start showing me something. This is ridiculous that this is happening. You know what? I don't want to hear any more excuses. I want to move on to the Eagles. Now, this Dream Team talk. Dream Team. Yeah, let's get into this garbage, all right? ESPN all week has been talking about the Eagles. That's right, saying, can they recapture the Dream Team aspect? Are they really the Dream Team of this year? It was an excuse. They said it was an excuse last year because, they didn't have a full season. So there's no excuses this year. So they have to capitalize on the Dream Team aspect. Look, stop this, ESPN. What is wrong with you, all right? The guy who even said about Dream Team, he's not even on the team anymore, all right? He with the Bills. What's wrong with you? Don't sit here and try to put us under a microscope. The Eagles have not said anything about Dream Team. Stop it. You're trying to bring up something, and you're pretty much trying to start shit. That's what you're trying to do, all right? Now, Eagles fans, if I were you, I'd be pissed off about this. Because, once again, you're going to have every person or every team, every fan in the league who does not like the Eagles bag on us, because every time we lose, we're going to have to hear this year, Dream Team, just like last year. It's a joke, all right? And Jason Babin, some of you guys had already talked about this Jason Babin, and you guys were saying that he was thinking about running the Bulls, and at first I was like, really? Is that serious? And what did I say to you guys? I said, I hope he gets Gordon his ass, just for, embarrassment purposes, right? And then some of you guys made videos about it. Well, now we're finding out that Jason Babin really did want to run with the Bulls.
You mentioned Jason Babin. And here's the back page of the Philadelphia Daily News today because Jason Babin says, we think, this is what he's saying, he's going to go run with the Bulls in Pamplona, Spain, which is, and the back page says, Bull Rush. As Jason says, yeah, I'm gonna run down the streets of, just like Ernest Hemingway, I'm going to run down the streets of Pamplona, Spain, sober, by the way, and a lot of people don't do it that way, but he will. And now we're hearing maybe he was just messing with us. Do you have any sense of whether or not he's going to be doing that?
I don't know. I mean, as a D-line unit, we all support one another. And he is a swift-footed young fellow. So if he were to do it, I had to give him the advantage. But over the Bulls, I support him enough to go run with him. I would go watch him run the Bulls, but I probably would run with him.
The first thing I thought when I saw that today is they used to have contracts that said you can't parachute, you can't, bungee jump, you can't do this, you can't do that. They apparently did not write in this into that contract.
Now wait a minute, do they not have in contracts these type of clauses that a player cannot try to purposely risk injury so that, he doesn't jeopardize his career and hurt the team as well? We saw this not too long ago when Ben Roethlisberger crashed his motorcycle. Did we not? So all these teams were putting in clauses. Well, obviously, the Eagles didn't follow suit.
Bowen tweeted that there is no such language that would prevent him from going over and running with the Bulls in Pamplona. Now, here's what we just heard what Darryl had to say. Here's what Evan Mathis and some of Jason Babin's teammates had to say about this prospect.
There's no way he's serious. He can't be serious. If you, it's kind of like saying you're going to swim with sharks and you get a tank, there's a big divider there, and you swim the sharks. Maybe he'll go and watch, but he's not going to be dumb enough to run with them. Is he?
I think he's dead serious. And to tell you the truth, I'm a little nervous about growing my beard out anymore because I'm thinking he might turn a gun on me if I let it go any further. But, Babin's a crazy dude, and he's going to do anything that puts his life in jeopardy for whatever reason.
I played with Babin in Houston for 2 years, so I know Babin is a pretty outgoing guy and loves to have fun.
he can run with the bull. I won't be running with him. I won't be hunting bears or anything like that.
Oh, I know he do it. You know, I know Babin. I know Babin will do it. You know, Babin says he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. You know, it's you know, you gotta see your mentality. It kind of tells you what kind of mentality we have on this D-line. You know, you got a D-line full of hunters, outdoorsmen. You know, it's just we had this mentality to go get it.
He just got waylaid from Alaska, right? He was hunting Alaska. And I don't believe he had phones or any kind of.
Here's the big difference of that phrase, go get it. It does not apply to running with the bulls. You are the gotten, not the getter. The bull is going to get it. You're not chasing the bull, he's chasing you.
It's quite obvious that the front office is not doing their job because, as you just heard in the beginning, there's no language to stop him from doing such a thing. It just goes to show you that the Eagles are never on par with everyone else. This is what I mean. Guys, you have to understand this. And look, since then, Jason Babin, since so many people have come down on him, he's decided not to run with the Bulls. So you guys are right, you know. He's being an attention whore. That's what he's doing. But you also have to understand that so many Eagles, look, in this city where athletes are constantly have freak injuries and things of that nature, the last thing we need is another guy putting himself out there to possibly get injured. It makes no sense. All right, but once again, Jason Babin is only thinking of himself. It would have been different if he just said, look, after my career, I'm going to go do it. Hey, whatever, all right? But what you're doing is representing a team that represents a franchise, which represents a city. It is not just about you, Jason Babin. You need to get that through your thick head, all right? But obviously, like Mathis said, he can't be that dumb, right? Well, as we all know, he is that dumb, especially if you read any of his comments over the offseason, all right? But I need to move on because we need to talk basketball real quick. Now, last week, guys, I had said to you that we should go after Al Jefferson, did I not? It's interesting because guess what CSN says?
They need a piece there who can score, in my opinion, on the outside, because the big issue with this team is scoring. That's what Doug Collins said on Saturday night when they got eliminated, that it's so hard for this squad to score. Mm-hmm. So Iguodala, that's not what he does well. I mean, Doug Collins says a great player, not a great scorer. And I think they can use him to get someone who can score.
So under buy low, sell high, and he's a stock that's high, what's the market for Andre Iguodala? Who are the suitors possibly for the Sixers?
I think that is the suitor.
Yeah, I mean, I would look at teams that have a surplus of big men but need players on the wing. The Lakers and the Jazz stand out. And then obviously the Warriors are a team that needs a perimeter defender. So there is going to be a market. The question is, how well do their needs work with yours, and does the money match up? If you can get a guy like Gasol, if you can get a guy like Al Jefferson, I mean, those are names.
But you're giving up years with Gasol. I mean, you get a lot of talent, but he's I think he's 4 or 5 years older.
Yes.
Than Andre.
Yeah, 5 years older, I believe. But he fills a need on the Sixers. You need a guy who can score in the paint. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Al Jefferson. He's a guy who can score in the paint. So
Hold on. Did the coach just say that the Sixers can't score in a half-court set? I've been saying it all season, right? That the best way they score is in transition, right? He goes on to say that Andre Iguodala is a great player, but not a great scorer. I've been showing you guys when breaking down tape and pieces on how to run offenses, what Andre Iguodala is not that good. Right? Okay. Then they go on and say, I just want to make this clear, all right? Then they go on and say that we should go after Al Jefferson. Did I not say that last week, right? I mean, come on, guys. And no, we don't want soft Gasol, all right? Because the last thing we need is another soft player on the Sixers, as far as I'm concerned. Go get Al Jefferson, all right? Please go get him. Look, guys, it just goes to show you that a person can sit on their damn couch and make these type of things, these type of, have these type of ideas and break down this type of stuff to you guys instead of being a professional sports writer with a suit on and getting on national TV. Well, I'm sorry, it's not even national TV, it's local TV, all right? But you've got to be kidding me. It goes to show you, if you know the sports, it does not matter what they say. It doesn't. You have to be able to tell you guys, when you get to a point where you can start reading through their bullshit and you can see everything that comes down the pipe, you have to be real with yourself. You cannot blind yourself by fandom. Look at things for what they are and then say, hey, how can we fix this? That's what a fan does. It's not just, oh, I support my team to the end, and it doesn't matter if they curse us out or call us names, we're still going to support them. No, that's stupid. That's absolutely unacceptable. Understand what is going on. And you cannot trust these sports writers. And speaking of not being able to trust more sports writers, I just don't understand ESPN. Keep the man off of SportsCenter. Let's start this right now.
Stephen A., I want to switch gears on sports for a moment. Elsewhere, Justin Combs, the son of rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs, got a $54,000 athletic scholarship to play football at UCLA. Some folks are bothered by this because the cash-strapped school is spending this kind of dough on Combs coming from such a wealthy family. What's your reaction to this? Should he have accepted?
Oh, absolutely, and I think it's utterly ridiculous that this is even a subject in the eyes of the public. The reality is number one, it doesn't involve taxpayer dollars. That's number one, and more importantly, UCLA came out and made sure to articulate that point. Number two, this is a kid here who earned it. He had several scholarship offers. I think Virginia and Iowa and other programs were looking at him, and if this kid has the ability to play football, it's perfectly within his right to get a scholarship. I applaud him, and I'm proud of him. Number three, if you're going to have a complaint, complain to his daddy, who's the mogul, who's the millionaire, the multi-millionaire, who can afford to pay for his college education. And I'm not saying you should bother Sean P. Diddy Combs, but if you're going to bother anybody, it certainly shouldn't be the kid. But number four, and more importantly, let's think about the message that this sends. Constantly, we're telling kids, don't act like you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, even if that were the case. Don't try to live off of the accomplishments of your parents. What they did doesn't mean you're entitled to all they have to offer without going out there, having your own aspirations, your own goals, pursuing your own dreams, and then working and moving forward. We constantly tell kids, whether their kids are professional athletes, whether their kids are bankers on Wall Street or financial consultants or, Fortune 500 tycoons, whatever the case may be, we are constantly telling them as a society that the exploits of your parents doesn't mean that you are entitled. A matter of fact, we abhor it so much that anybody that gives us the slightest indication that that's their mentality is somebody we immediately dislike. So here's a kid that went out, regardless of what his father has accomplished, which has been absolutely phenomenal things. This kid says, I want to make my own future for myself, and he did it to the point where he didn't even need his parents' money to earn a Division I football scholarship. And we're going to question whether this kid should take the money, take the scholarship. I think that's just, it reeks of hypocrisy. It's one of the things that annoys most folks about America because of the hypocritical tendencies that some Americans exhibit. And I think we need to put a stop to it right now. The kid did the right thing. He's done nothing wrong. UCLA is perfectly within their right to give him a scholarship, and he should take it. And the only thing remotely that we should question is why his father didn't step in and say, I'll take care of it myself. And even that is pushing.
All right, guys, I understand what Stephen A. is trying to say here, and he's saying all the right words, hot button words to catch you, you know what I mean? Entitlement and things of that nature. I understand that. But you have to understand he's not dealing with reality. And I'm going to explain to you guys exactly what I mean. Now, in my perspective, because I feel he's wrong, because he hasn't had to go through this. When you go to tryouts, okay, and there's, let's say, a famous person, famous last name or whatever, on the roster, because this is exactly how it works, all right? I'm just going to use an example. I'm just going to make up a name here. Just say Smith, okay? All right. You're on the roster, and they're doing roll call. When they get to Smith's name, they're going to say, hey, are you the son of such and such Smith? And they'll say, yeah. Well, he was a pretty famous person, either back in his time or still is. Maybe you have those same type of genes. So guess what that means? That means right then and there, they're put under a microscope, meaning they're going to get more opportunity to prove themselves. Now, whether they pass or fail is on them, okay? But they're given more opportunity. They're given more leeway. That means everyone else who doesn't have a famous daddy or mom or whatever, guess what? Now everyone else has to play with a bigger chip on their shoulder just to prove that they belong there. You get what I'm saying? That's reality. That's what he's not understanding. So even though they don't want to say, well, you can't go by his famous name, it definitely makes a difference. And I've seen a lot of articles as of late saying, you know what, this is just smokescreen for the actual, the tuitions being raised, actually. And that's what more people need to work on. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm just speaking about his famous name. You gotta think, this kid just got, what, a $300,000 Maybach when he was his 16th birthday? I'm not trying to hear that his daddy don't have the money. I'm not trying to hear that his daddy don't have the connections. I'm not trying to hear any of this, dude. I'm not. All right? When you are famous, you have a certain prestige, whether people like to admit it or not. It's not about being entitled. It's just, that's reality, dude. That's reality, whether you like that or not. It carries a certain stigma, and guess what? Like I said, everyone else, they got to work harder. And before you know it, you know how I would say, oh, there's haters. When you are on a football field, on a basketball court or something, and someone famous is out there, there's going to be someone out there who is going to hate the fact that you're getting so much leeway. You ever see a star come down to a basketball court and how defenses treat him because he's a star? When you have dudes who don't care, it's a different story. But when you have people who are starstruck, they don't play as hard. It happens. It does. And then you have those dudes, like I say, you think are haters that just want to take them down. I'm telling you, I understand the kid's position where he just wants to, he probably wants to get out of his daddy's shadow, to an extent, but he's going to have to live with that. The rest of society, and as bad as I made it sound, it's reality, dude. And that's why I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith. I don't. But also, understand this. Stephen A. Smith also tries to spin this web of bullshit afterwards, after talking about that, about Lil Wayne.
You mentioned the word entitled, Stephen A., and someone else who may feel a little bit entitled, depending on the way you look at this. Last night in Oklahoma City, rapper Lil Wayne wanted to go to the game. A Thunder spokesman said that he insisted he sit in the front row, which they did not have any seats available. And Lil Wayne then took to Twitter. He said, was going to go to the Thunder game tonight, but was denied by the team to be in their arena. Wow, shaking my head, go Spurs. Stephen A., what do you think? Does Oklahoma City need to learn how to love Lil Wayne?
No, they can love whoever they want to. They're a first-class organization, a first-class franchise. I'm flying there tonight for Game 4 tomorrow night, and when you look at some of these, some of the fans there, they seem to be the best fans in the league. Personally, I can understand where Lil Wayne is coming from because as a celebrity, I can't imagine him sitting anywhere else but courtside because he'll get bothered. People will tend to bother him because that's what you usually do with celebrities. I'm not saying I know these folks because it's the only NBA arena I've never been in, so I don't know how they conduct themselves. But everywhere else you go, I definitely believe that if you're a celebrity, just sitting amongst the crowd is not something that necessarily works in your favor if you're just going to enjoy a basketball game because people tend to bother you. As it specifically pertains to Lil Wayne, what I would also add is this, and I don't know this for a fact by any stretch of the imagination, but when you look at the way folks carry themselves, a person like me greatly appreciates where Lil Wayne came from and how he pulled himself up by his own bootstraps and elevated himself to this stature in our society. I applaud him because I understand some of those obstacles and pitfalls, but I get that. Some folks in Oklahoma may not necessarily get that. You look at the way a person carries themselves. You look at the way a person, the lyrics in his music and things of that nature. You might not be feeling that, so he might not be the kind of celebrity that you want to ingratiate yourself with. And if that's the case, and that has something to do with it, it's unfortunate, but it's perfectly within their right to feel that way. I'm not talking ethnicity here. I'm not talking black, white, or anything like that. I'm simply talking about you got tats all over your body and stuff like that. You dress a certain way. They listen to your music. They might not be feeling that. Some people say Charlotte's not only the Bible, that's not the only Bible Belt in America. It's also down there in Oklahoma. You might have some people who are a bit averse to that, and Oklahoma City, as an organization, may recognize that, and that may have factored into the equation, but I have no proof of that whatsoever, because they've given no indication that that factored into the equation.
See, this is what pisses me off about this segment. Mind you, this is on Sports Center. I told you, I don't watch First Take, so to avoid him. You get what I'm saying? But this is what happens. So, let's talk about this, because in the beginning, it is strictly told. The facts are told. They didn't have any more room. They had no more chairs for him. That's it. That's it. You're not going. Then Lil Wayne decided to run on Twitter and cry like a little bitch about it. That's what he did, okay? And then, what happened? Here comes Stephen A. trying to make all these, and what they are what ifs. All right, maybe it's the way in his lyrics. Maybe it's because the way he's tattooed. Are you serious? All right, because apparently no other player, in Oklahoma City is tattooed, huh? No other player in the NBA is tattooed. I'm not trying to hear it, all right? Try to say, well, he pulled himself up by his bootstraps. Do you realize how much he was carried by Cash Money? Wobbly, drop it like it's hot. Come on, he was carried for a very long time. I'm not trying to hear that. And then on top of it, because we in Philly, so you know what happens. Then you got Gilly coming out and saying that, because he got the check stubs, saying that Lil Wayne was, he was ghostwriting for Lil Wayne. I'm not trying to hear it, all right? Just because this dude gets on tracks and say he's the greatest rapper alive and people start to buy into it doesn't mean he's great. Bottom line, is it a good business decision, a good hustle move for him? Yes. I'm not going to sit there and say it's not, all right? He made money that way because he pandered to idiots. That's what he did, all right? Because people were stupid enough to believe him. But the thing is, you can't sit here and say that, you know, it's not entitlement. And no, that's what it is. The facts are they didn't have any more room, and he went and cried about it. Those are the facts. Anything else is just a bunch of garbage. And like Stephen A. said, he doesn't know. So he wasted airtime not knowing. That's what he did. He wasted airtime just rambling on. It made no sense. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, what you guys said about Lil Wayne when it first happened really killed me. Speaking of the NBA, you know what? I have to say this right now. The refereeing, the officiating in these playoffs are the worst I've ever seen, okay? It doesn't matter if you're home or away. There's no special treatment because everyone's like, oh, he's getting special treatment because he's home or away. No. It doesn't matter at this point, all right? Because blatant calls are being missed. And I'll give you an example right now on Tony Parker. The entire damn crowd is like this, all right? You gonna tell me the refs on the floor couldn't see that? And they have a closer view? No, I'm sorry. You can't sit here and tell me that's true. Like I said, refs miss calls, but that's a big call. You have to call that. You just have to. There's no excuse to miss that call. And I'm telling you now, I've talked to a lot of people, you know, watching these playoffs, and all of them are saying they're not watching. They're not watching these games because of how bad the officiating is. Nobody has any allegiance to these teams in the playoffs, you know, that I'm talking to, but they want to watch for competition purposes. And you know what? It's done. It's like watching the NBA these days for competition purposes, you might as well not do it. You know, they don't care. Like I said, you have to fix this. You do not want people tuning away, you know, turning off pretty much your product. Walking away from your product. You don't want that. I'm not trying to hear you'll fix it next year or the year after or whatever. No. David Stern has to fix this now. It's a problem. It's going to get worse as the finals are getting ready to happen. I guarantee you there will. And I'm put like this. I said there's no favoritism with the referees, which I feel we've seen in the past there has been, but I don't feel right now there is. I will say, however, that there's favoritism in the media because for those who did not see what happened, before Game 5 of the Miami Heat and Boston Celtics happened, ESPN had already proclaimed on their Facebook Miami Heat being the winner of one win away to the finals. And then when the C's won in Miami, the clowns came out to cry about the loss.
Stephen A., in a word, are the Miami Heat done?
I believe so, yes. I don't believe there will be a Game 7. I will be ecstatic if there is because I get to go to South Beach on the weekend. But I sincerely doubt that that will happen based on what I have been seeing. I believe this series is over tomorrow night. And it's going to sadden me to some degree because I'm going to be there to witness it. And I really wish I wouldn't have to.
Oh, it's going to be a sad day with the Miami Heat lose. Are you serious, bro? You act like you have some type of personal stock in this team. Look, ESPN, I will put it like this. If you are the world leader in sports and you have professional journalists and writers, all right, who have obvious ego problems because they think they're bigger than the sports themselves, which they're not, let's get something straight. You shouldn't be showing any type of bias towards certain teams. That's what, I mean, if you're a journalist, you show unbiased. You can call it how it is, but you show no bias. And this is what you do with big market teams all the time. Do I blame the Miami Heat? Hell no. I don't blame them. They're going out to go ball. I don't blame them, all right? I blame the media for what they do, all right? Because they raise them up to the roof, all right? And then when they falter, they drop them back down, drop the hammer on them. They did it with Tim Tebow just for next season, for them to raise him back up, and if he doesn't do well, they're going to drop him back down. If he does well, they say, see, we told you so. That's exactly what happens, all right? And we see this all the time. Another example, watch the damn, I'll put it like this, man. If you watch the NBA pregame, all right, and post games, all right? Magic Johnson and Chris Broussard, they always talk about, you know, the Miami Heat. Even when the Miami Heat's not even playing, they talk about the Miami Heat. I don't understand this, all right? And then when the Miami Heat do play, they'll raise them up, and then if the Miami Heat lose, they'll knock them back down. Damn that LeBron James, damn that Dwayne Wade, because something that they felt should have happened didn't happen. That's what it comes down to. It's pathetic, it's childish, and don't tell me that Stephen A. all of a sudden can't afford to go to South Beach on his own. I'm not trying to hear this, you know, he probably just wanted to go on a company dime. No, did you see his suit? His suit probably cost more than a weekend at South Beach. Don't give me this garbage, all right? You know what? I'm very disappointed these people are allowed to keep their jobs when they act this way. It is ridiculous. ESPN, you should be ashamed of yourself. I try to watch ESPN for information and not this dog and pony show that you put on or these talking heads that are pretty much clowns. I don't have time for it, all right? I just don't. But you know what? Gotta get into this. We'll talk about the Nike Pro Combat sleeve. For those who don't know, Nike Pro Combat sleeve. This is probably the best Pro Combat sleeve, best sleeve that I've tried on and tried out, I should say. Best one due to the fact that other people play this. If you're going to play basketball and you wear a sleeve for style, you're an idiot, all right? You're an absolute idiot. These sleeves are designed for people that are hurt. That's what it is for, all right? Now, I'll put it like this. The sleeve itself, first I'm going to start with the elbow padding. The elbow padding is beautiful. It's great. It actually has it's shock resistant, okay? But if you fall on the ball of your elbow, the tip of your elbow, it's not going to save you. It's just not, all right? And that goes if you fall anyway on the ball of your elbow, with or without a pad. It's just not, it's not designed, it's not going to save you, okay? End of story. You shouldn't be falling straight on your elbow anyway. But that's not the point. Point is, I'm going to get to the rest of this. As you can see, it's very flimsy. So, for max impact, no, it's not going to save you max impact. What the sleeve does is it constricts the muscle, or should I say compresses the muscle. That's what I should say. This is definitely something that if you have not, like this, if you have a natural stroke, all right, it'll actually make your release quicker, all right, because of the compression within your arm and in your joints. All right, now I'll put it like this. This is what you call flexion and contraction. All right, so when you go for a shot like this, that's what happens. All right, it will make you faster. Even when you take off the sleeve, you'll feel the difference in your arm when you bend it. It really will. It'll be a lot faster because of the constriction that it gives you. Now, I will put it like this. Guys, like I said, there's no max protection in this. If you're going to wear it, you wear it for injury purposes. All right, muscle pulls, muscle strains, joints, things of that nature that you're having a problem with. If you're trying to use it for an advantage, you will have a slight advantage, but that's pretty much cheating as far as I'm concerned. You shouldn't use it for that, all right? You should only use it if you were hurt. These guys get out there on the court every night and they wear one, and to me it's like, that's bullshit. It's bullshit because, I'll put it like this, like I said, if you don't have a fast stroke as it is, all right, it will improve your shot. I shouldn't say improve your shot. Your reflex on a shot. Your release on a shot. I'm not saying control-wise, I'm saying speed-wise of getting off the shot. That's what it does because it contracts so much and it compresses. That's what happens. Understand that, guys. That's exactly all it is to it. It is a great product, all right? I recommend it if you're going to wear it. If you were hurt and you still want to go play, that's what it is for, all right? Nothing else, nothing more. If you're wearing it for any other reason, you're an absolute idiot and you shouldn't even be on a basketball court to begin with. That's all I'm going to say about it. Now I want to move on. Guys, I want to talk about NHL hockey. All right, Stanley Cup playoffs last night was really great. I should say finals, I should say, but it was great. Devils won, okay? They lived to see another day, and some of you guys were saying, how could this happen? You LA Kings fans wanted, the game to finish in LA. I understand, but I'll put it like this. The Kings now have a chance to go into New Jersey, win on their ice, and break New Jersey's record of road playoff games won. That's right. So you're getting more than just winning at home. You know what I mean? You're getting a lot more if that happens. Gagne looked pretty good. I thought he was going to score on that that breakaway, but he didn't. Carter is Jeff Carter is just going crazy right now. Him and Richards are just it's flowing so well. It's great to see the ex-Flyers do well. Kopitar, I'll put it like this. Either Kopitar or Quick, as far as I'm concerned, will get the MVP. Either or, they'll get the MVP. If neither of them got that and someone else got it, I would be really shocked at that. The Devils, their defense, they've kind of faltered, all right? But there are times they show flashes of brilliance, and they're starting to play a little bit more of their pressure game, what they do on offense, like they did with us with the Flyers, all right? So it is interesting to see. I'm sitting back and watching these games. Of course, now I'm biased because my team's not in it. Why do I give a shit? You know what I mean? So I'm just watching it just to watch it, because it's fun. The NHL, I feel, has done a great job this year when it comes to at least the finals. We saw earlier in the playoffs, nothing was being called, dirty hits left and right, and it seems like everyone has forgotten that. For some reason, I don't know. But the finals have been really well done, so I'm not going to really complain too much about the officiating when it comes to the NHL, okay? But I'm looking for this to end the next game, all right, with the Kings. That's exactly what I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to CSN because, as some of you guys know, the Philadelphia media are so mad that Richards and Carter have made it this far. I cannot wait to see their reaction. All right, just to laugh at them. That's all. That's what it comes down for me. All right, so it's definitely going to be interesting. I will say, LA, you Kings fans, I understand you're fans, But now you got a lot of frauds, you know what I mean, in the crowd. We've seen Will Ferrell in the crowd. Now, I'll put it like this. We know he's a SoCal guy. He's a legit SoCal guy. But that is the first time he's been to a damn Kings game all season. Don't give me this crap, all right? You had Alyssa Milano there, right? And look, Alyssa Milano, she was a confessed Phillies fan. All right, how do you think her little clothing line got started? You know, like if you ever go to a ball game or whatever, and you see those little, you know, shirts on the women for, you know, the sports shirts. I'm sorry, the sports shirts for the women. They're all built for just for them, all hug and snug. That's Alyssa Milano's line of clothing. It started here in Philly, and now all of a sudden, you know, she wants to be a Kings fan. It's garbage. Honestly, you Hollywood clowns, you live in Cali, you come out and all of a sudden, you did it with the Dodgers not too long ago when we were playing against the Dodgers, right? And what y'all do? Tim Allen came, all these people started coming out. Stop, all right? You're a bunch of phonies. Let the real fans decide what's going on at this point, all right? LA Kings fans, start kicking those phonies out the crowd. You don't need them, all right? Dodgers fans, the same way. You don't need those phonies in the crowd. You really don't. Anyways, guys, I'm done for the day. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. And yes, next week, we will be talking Euro 2012. I'm going to try. I know a lot of you guys, you know, sent me messages about it. So I'm going to try to, you know, cover it over the weekend, see what happens, all right? I'll talk to you then. Y'all be safe. I'm out.